Hi, nobody's. Um, so last night I was writing down like a little story, and I decided that I was going to, it was like, hey, there are certain rules I live by. Like, these rules are, I try not to break them. These are rules that pretty much had my whole life, and I try not to break them. Now, when I was a kid, these rules were, breaking these rules was not tolerated in my house. There was a punishment due for it, and it was typically mental warfare. Um, as a kid growing up, um, disappointing my parents or having them mad at me was worse than any beating that somebody could have delivered to me. I honestly think, and this is not to minimize their experience, but being hit, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion because I didn't get beat up, really. Um, Being hit causes damage, but it's not near, in my opinion, not near as damaging as, you know, people telling you that you're less than, that you're never going to measure up, you're never going to fit in, you're never going to be enough, you're always flawed. Don't be yourself because no one would really like you. You have to be who they want you to be. And this was something that um, my parents taught me, and I could blame them. But ultimately, at this point in my life, I know when it's gone from, well, this is learned behavior to, but I know it's wrong. And yet I'm still, because when I was really little, it was like, well, I won't get caught. If I didn't get caught, I could, if I knew I wasn't going to get caught doing something, then it justified me breaking a rule. But it wasn't long before, like at this point in time when I break a rule, I beat myself up about it. I mean, and it doesn't matter that I'm grown and I know better. It doesn't matter that my parents are dead. It's still there. It's such a part of me. Um, so I wrote down some of the rules that I know I live by. Um, and I try not to break these rules. And when I do beat myself up about it. And occasionally, well, I'll go into them. Rule number one, and this was like the biggest in my household: be nice and polite. You know, you can hate somebody. I mean, I can hate somebody. And if they say hi to me, I'm going to say hi. I'm going to carry on a conversation with them. Internally, I might be screaming, I hate you. I hate you. Shut the fuck up. Just like, why don't we walk away? We need to walk away because we hate this person. Why are we being nice to them? Why are we being polite? They're an asshole. They're rude to me. They're disrespectful. Like all of these things go through my head. Now, I do break this rule, but it's typically I'm pushed to that point. Like there is a certain point, and this is even with my parents growing up, there were points where I was like, fuck this, I'm not going to be nice right now. There's also just the whole thing about when it's family, it's easier to trip that. In general settings, when somebody is obviously rude, disrespectful, I freeze up. I don't know how to handle that. And a lot of times I'll break another rule in my list, which is to say I'm sorry. I say I'm sorry all the time. I've only met one person who says sorry more than me. And I kid you not, I stepped on her feet one time and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I stepped on your feet. I'm sorry. And she's like, well, my feet shouldn't have been where your feet were going to go, you know? And in hindsight, I feel really bad for that girl because people who say I'm sorry a lot, they've been through something. From what I understand, saying I'm sorry a lot is an indication that you were abused. I say I'm sorry a lot because I feel guilty, even if I know I ain't done anything wrong. I will feel guilty. If somebody's in a bad mood, it's my fault. I have to fix that. I have to say I'm sorry. If they're sick, I'm sorry. You know, it comes out automatically. And this leads people to think that a person who says I'm sorry all the time isn't actually I'm sorry. They think that we are insincere. But the thing is if a person says I'm sorry a lot, they're not insincere. You're dealing with somebody who isn't just saying I'm sorry to be nice. They want to fix things because they don't want you to feel bad. They don't want you to feel any kind of resentment towards them, you know, like I said, I'm sorry, you know. And when you're dealing with somebody who's bad, like if people like to throw around the term narcissist, a narcissist doesn't really say they're sorry. A sociopath is going to say, sorry, not sorry, you know, or if at all, you know, like they know that they're doing bad shit and they choose to do it anyway. So saying they're sorry, the only reason that they would say it is to get back in your good graces. There's a reason behind it. If you're dealing with somebody who says I'm sorry on a regular basis, like when you say I feel sick, I'm sorry, you know, and I'm going to try to fix you. I am going to try to fix what's wrong with you. Well, what are you feeling? Like, you know, oh, well, you should take this medicine. This will make you feel better. You know, that's how you know a sorry is genuine, if they're willing to say like, well, hey, what can I do? You know, because anybody can say, I'm sorry. Being able to say, do you need me to do something for you? How can we fix this? And saying I'm sorry is actually rule number 6. It didn't come to me immediately after be nice or polite. Rule number 2 is don't say no. Now, granted, this is a rule that it gets broken because I am not going to say yes when it comes to somebody wanting me to steal or do something bad for them. If it's something illegal, I'm going to say no. If it goes against my morals, I'm going to say no. Like, if I'm in a committed relationship and somebody's like, hey, will you suck my dick? I'm going to say no. I am not that much of a people pleaser that I'm going to mess around on somebody because that goes against my moral code. And I will not go against my moral code. The bad thing about this rule is that it doesn't matter. Like saying, like, I will say yes even when I know that I'm going to be uncomfortable, that I'm doing something that I absolutely positively do not want to do. My comfort does not take priority to doing something for somebody if they've asked me to do it. You know, I'm going to do what they want me to do. As long as, like I said, as long as I'm not breaking a law and I'm not doing something against my moral code. Also, if by saying yes to one person, I hurt another person, I won't do it. And I will explain this to them. I will, because I feel bad if I have to say no to something. Because I want to help people. I want to be there for people. I don't want them thinking like, well, I don't want to be that person who they're like, well, she's not going to help. She's going to say no. No. It's kind of a double-sided blade with the, I know I'm that person that they're going to say, oh, she'll say yeah. She'll help me. And they don't ask anybody else. So it always ends up being me. So it's kind of, that one messes with me. Number 3, don't talk about how you're feeling. Now, I know I get on here and I talk about how I'm feeling. This is different. You can choose not to watch. I am the queen of saying, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. Today was okay. Everything's good. It's all gravy. I was taught this because I would see people like overshare their shit, and I would see how people would react to somebody telling them exactly how they're feeling today. You know, and to go into this long like, oh well, you know, my dog didn't come to me when I called him this morning, and my back hurts, and I got like this rash on my foot, and you know, like they're just exhausting. I didn't want to be that. And plus, I was told as a kid, nobody cares. They don't care. So just go with the simple, polite, I'm doing good. Everything's awesome. Life is good. You know, and shit can be falling apart. The only way I break that rule is if there's 2 reasons I break that rule. One is that I'm talking to somebody that I am comfortable saying, hey, here's what's really going on. Number 2 is specific questions. They will ask specific questions like, how are you really? Because they know that when I say I'm good, that's not the whole story. That's me being vague. I can just say, I'm good. No, what if they're like, well, hey, what have you done today? You know, and did you cry? Did you get mad? You know, like, has everybody been cool? Do you hurt? You know, how's your stomach? Number 4, don't be an inconvenience. This one's tough because there are times when I want to do things and I can't ask people to help me because I don't want to break into what they're doing. It's always me waiting for them. Like if you know, when I don't have a vehicle, it's when are they going somewhere? Can they, you know, is it cool? Can they drop me here and pick me up? You know, like if there's something nearby. If it's not nearby, I'm not going to ask. That one kind of sucks because you're constantly going, am I being an inconvenience? Am I being, you know, like, am I putting them out in any way, shape, or form? That one's kind of exhausting. Number 5, what I want doesn't matter. It's no big deal. I rarely ask for things that I really, really want. Like, I don't want to be that person who, when they're like, hey, you need anything while I'm out? I don't want to be that person who's always got a long list. I might say, oh, I want a soda. That'd be good. Can you get me a soda? If they show up without my soda, one of my rules is to act like it's no big deal. Where's my soda? Oh, I forgot. Oh, don't worry about it. I don't need it. I'm good. There you go. See, I'm good. I'm good. And even when, and the don't be an inconvenience runs into that, because when they're like, oh, I'll just go out and get you one, I will go. And it's like, no, 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 don't make a special trip for me. It's no big deal. It is no big deal. Oh, it's a big deal sometimes. It's a major big deal. And in my head, I'm like, one fucking thing you asked for, one fucking thing, and they fucking forgot. That's how little you rank in their opinion of you, that they can't remember one thing that you wanted. Now, I don't get upset if I give them a long list of things. But if I ask for one thing, that one thing is important. It also comes down to if I want Subway and we're getting something to eat. What do you want to eat? I would like some Subway. Oh, I had Subway yesterday. Oh, okay. Well, what were you thinking? Because, I'm good with anything else. Like, where were you thinking? I'll find something there I like. When in all actuality, I might be like, I want some motherfucking Subway. That's what I had my heart set on when I woke up. Sometimes if I'm dropping hints about, hey, I want something, I won't come out and say, this is what I want. If the hint is not picked up, I will find something where I'm at. And trust me, when I'm sitting there making a grilled cheese, wanting Subway, I want to cry. Which brings us up to the last rule that I could think of, which is keep composure. Now, this one gets broken. Not often in a destructive, like anger. I rarely lose composure on anger. Like actual, like you're not really gonna see me throwing shit and being violent. That's a pretty easy aspect of keeping composure. Now, granted, when I get mad, a lot of times I cry. People assume that they've hurt my feelings, and I let them assume that, but crying in front of somebody is losing composure, and I do beat myself up about that I couldn't keep that contained. I couldn't keep those tears contained, and I'm beating myself up for crying in front of somebody, beating myself up for just them getting to me, like, why can't I not give a fuck? Why do I let this hurt me? And a lot of times when I've lost composure, it's not that a person has said something that was specifically like super bad. It's where my brain takes me with, they don't like me. Why doesn't anybody like me? I'm not worthy. It's where my brain takes me from their statement or their behavior. It goes to, they think I'm so worthless that they can treat me like this. Why do I do, and then of course into that composure comes, why the fuck don't you stand up for yourself? Come on, everybody else does it. Why don't you just lose your shit? Now, granted, on the few times when, well, I can't say few times, the times that I have broken rule number 1 of being nice and polite, people who know me really well know that that's not me. They know that they pushed me, and that reaction is not what I wanted. They know, oh, I went too far. People who know me in general, like they might have known me a few years and they've seen me compose, like they haven't seen me lose composure. When they push me too far, they might be a little surprised and scared. I can be pretty brutal when I drop rule number 1. I can tell them everything that they've ever done to piss me off, I can tell them every way that they suck. I can tell them everything that's wrong with them. And when I drop rule number one, I'm always just grateful if I don't completely drop it. Because, like, if I really drop it, like I don't think I have ever laid into anybody with exactly what I think of them, like everything. I don't think I've ever really lost it that much. And even when I lose composure and drop rule number one, I'm not violent. There's only been one time in my life when I've been violent, and that's if I feel cornered. Like if somebody is like they're holding my keys, they're blocking the door. I will get very headstrong at that moment and say, I want to leave. Give me my motherfucking keys and get the fuck out of my way. Let me leave and go cool down. Just give me space. A lot of times people will push. One of the ways people push me to drop rule number one is by not allowing me to walk away and process. If they're picking at me and making me say things, and talk, and they're just picking at my character, I can only take it to a certain point where I'm going to say, who are you? Who the fuck are you? Do you not know all the ways that, do you want me to just point out what the kind of stuff that you just pointed out to me? Do you want me to tell you all the ways that you suck? There's a certain point where I won't take it, and it depends on the people. It depends on my comfort level with them, and it really depends on what they say. And in the end, I feel just as bad about that as I do about just taking the disrespect and being nice, or just walking away and not saying anything, not doing anything. I don't like losing composure and breaking my rules. It causes problems with me. So that's my bid for today. I don't think I'll be on again today. Tomorrow, I leave Ohio and go back to Arkansas. I'm excited and sad at the same moment, and just like I'm excited and dread my bus ride. That's a 23-hour bus ride. I don't want to drive, though. I mean, driving a car, more expensive, and I don't want to mess with hitting any winter weather. I have been told to leave the snow up here, though. Still no water at the place I live because it's been raining and the ground won't be dry. Heaven forbid the plumber actually just lays down some plastic under the pipes to check for a leak. Yeah, we need better tradesmen out in my area. So anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to make it so. I hope that you have a good day. And if you find yourself feeling like something is going to ruin it, every moment is an opportunity to turn it around. Don't let somebody else's attitude ruin your vibe. If they're being an asshole, don't take it try not to take it personal. So I always say don't take it personal, but I take it personal. Just try to reframe it. If you have to go out for some retail therapy to recharge from that interaction, do that. Do that responsibly. And so I'm going to go. Bye. No.